Okay, so let me start this video off by saying that the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra is a beast of a phone. This is definitely going to be a phone to beat this year. I know it's still early in the year to say that, but this phone has been amazing since I've been using it day one. Now, the question is, just how much better is it than the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra? Is it actually worth it to upgrade from the S22 Ultra to the S23 Ultra? Well, my answer is yes, it is worth it, and then maybe no for some people. And the reason I'm saying yes, because like I said, it is the better device. It is better than the S22 Ultra, and if you can find yourself a good trade-in deal, then hey, go for it. Why not go for the biggest and the bestest of this year if you have the money to do it, and if you can find a good trade-in deal to do it as well. I got $1,000 towards my Galaxy S22 Ultra to put towards my Galaxy S23 Ultra. In my opinion, that's a good deal. This is a 512 gigabyte variant that they gave me for the price of the 256 model. So I definitely got a good deal on that. And I have a link down in the description below in case you want to check out any deals for yourself. But if you can find a good deal, yeah, I personally think it's worth it. This has been an amazing device. But if you don't really have the money to dish out even with a good trade-in deal, honestly, you won't be missing out on too much because the S22 Ultra is still an amazing device. But let's go and talk about it. So first of all, going to the design of both of these devices. If you look straight on at both displays themselves, yes, you probably wouldn't even be able to notice which device is which. I mean, they both look very identical to each other when looking at the front of the devices. Both beautiful displays, big displays. Now, the display on the Galaxy S23 Ultra is definitely a little bit more flat than the S22 Ultra. There is still a slight curve there, but it's not as noticeable as the S23 Ultra. It's more squared off on the edges of the device, and it actually feels really good in hand to use, and it just makes using the display easier to use as well overall, especially when it comes to that S Pen. When using the S Pen on the S22 Ultra, I notice for myself sometimes, especially when editing my thumbnail, sometimes the S Pen will slip off the sides because of that curve. How it's just more of a curve than what we have on the S23 Ultra. Well, recently, since I've been using the S Pen on the S23 Ultra, it's just easier to use that S Pen, especially when, you know, going off to the edges right there. Then going to the back of both of these devices, again, very identical, very similar. Although the lenses on the S23 Ultra are just a little bit bigger. If you put them right next to each other, you can tell that the lenses are just a little bit bigger. Going to the bottom of the devices, again, still looking pretty much the same, except it looks like we get two microphones on the S23 Ultra compared to the one on the bottom of the S22 Ultra. Going to the top, one microphone on both of these devices. And then going over to the right, power button and volume rockers are still in the exact same spot. Although the power button and volume markers on the Galaxy S23 Ultra are just a little bit lower than the ones on the S22 Ultra, making it just a little bit easier to, you know, be able to reach that power button and volume rockers. Then going back to the display, we got the in-display fingerprint sensor, which I find to work good on both of these. Honestly, I don't know if it doesn't really seem faster on the S23 Ultra, but it does seem like they made the area a bit bigger, so you don't have to put your thumb right in that exact center spot. When setting it up, it does have you put your thumb, you know, kind of in a circle like this, because there is a bigger area. At least that's what I'm thinking. There's a bigger area here, so you don't have to put your thumb in that exact same center spot. So when you look at it that way, yeah, I guess it would be more accurate when it comes to the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. But either way, both beautiful looking devices. I know the design is pretty much the same. Honestly, I like the design of the S22 Ultra, so I say if it ain't broke, why fix it? This is more of like a refined Galaxy S22 Ultra. Absolutely beautiful device. And with a beautiful device like this, you're gonna wanna keep it protected. So why not check out some cases from our sponsors of this video, Subcase. So they got 3 cases available. They got their Unicorn Beetle series, their Edge XT series, and their Unicorn Beetle Pro series, which is their most popular series. And I've actually done drop tests with this case right here on this channel with many devices, and it always does a good job at protecting these devices, having them still come out looking like brand new. And they got tons of colors to choose from for the Unicorn Beetle Pro. And then of course, like I said, we do have their Unicorn Beetle, which is a one shell case. The Unicorn Beetle Pro is a two-piece case, coming with a 360-degree holster as well. But with the Unicorn Beetle series, it doesn't come with a 300-degree holster, and it is only a one-piece case, but you're still going to get that same great protection, coming with a kickstand in the back, just like the popular Unicorn Beetle Pro. And then we have their Edge XT series, which is going to give you a see-through back and a built-in screen protector in the front, so you can really keep your device protected in the front and the back, while still being able to show off that beautiful backing of your Galaxy S23 device because of that see-through back. But they've got lots of cool cases to choose from, and I'll have a link down in the description below in case you want to check one out for yourself and make sure to keep your brand new device protected. Again, huge thanks and shout out to Subcase for sponsoring this video. Okay, so moving on, let's go and talk about performance here. I gotta say, performance honestly seems about the same. I mean, both phones are just as smooth as each other. You're getting that 120 hertz display on both of these devices, and it is just a smooth experience on both devices, if I'm being honest. I mean, I've been holding them side by side to really see if there is any huge difference when it comes to performance. You know, just scrolling through the device itself, you know, going in and out of apps, scrolling through social media or through the app drawer itself, scrolling through YouTube. And honestly, both phones seem to perform the same. Now, I would say the only difference that I did notice with the S23 Ultra is that it does open apps just a little bit faster than the S22 Ultra. So as far as performance goes, yeah, it does perform a little bit better. And I know it does have to do with that new Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip that we have in this one compared to last year's device. And it really has this phone running like a beast. I mean, it is super smooth, but like I said, the S22 Ultra is still a smooth device as well. So if you're not holding them side by side to really see which one is the smoothest and, you know, better performing device, I mean, you're probably not even gonna notice, if I'm being totally honest here. But if you are holding them side by side, you will notice a slight difference when it comes to performance. But one huge thing that I have noticed, you know, going from the S22 Ultra to the S23 Ultra is battery life. Now, the battery life on the S22 Ultra was already really good for me, but I mean, this phone right here is still learning my usage patterns, and battery life has still been amazing on the S23 Ultra. I mean, this is an all-day device, like literally an all-day device. I can take this phone off the charger super early in the morning and make it super late into the night. Heck, we can even make this a 2-day phone if we really wanted to. But I mean, usually I have the brightness set all the way up using that 120 hertz display. I got the resolution set to the highest, and it still lasts me an entire day. So battery life on the Galaxy S23 Ultra is crazy. And that would be one huge reason to go ahead and just upgrade from the S22 Ultra. Because if you're a power user like me, if you're someone who just, you know, you're using your phone all the time, whether it's for social media, emails, phone calls, text messages, whatever, watching content, playing games, I mean, the S23 Ultra is definitely going to be one to go with, because you want your phone to last you all day. You don't want to have to, you know, worry about throwing it on a charger, you know, midday or even a little bit later into the day, but not super late into the night. And like I said, the battery life on the S22 Ultra was already really good for me. It was still pretty much an all-day phone for me, but I mean, the S23 Ultra just takes it to the next level when it comes to battery life. So battery life, definitely amazing on the S23 Ultra, definitely better than the S22 Ultra. Now, when it comes to overall features, I mean, you're not getting too many more features on the S23 Ultra coming from the S22 Ultra, but I will say there's a really cool feature with the S Pen. Now, both S Pens do pretty much have the same exact features, but there's actually two new features that I noticed with the S Pen on the S23 Ultra. And one of those features is that if you tap and hold an object in a picture that you've taken, if you hold on it just for a few seconds and then let go, it will cut that object out for you pretty much almost perfectly. Unless there's a lot of stuff going on around it, then it'll kind of cut out that other stuff with it. But for the most part, it cuts it out pretty good for you, and it'll allow you to copy it. You can share just that cutout, or you can save as an image. And this is big for me because, like I said earlier, I make all of my thumbnails on my smartphone, and there's a lot of times where I cut out an image so I can really make it pop more in that thumbnail. While with this, all I gotta do is just tap and hold for a few seconds, let go, and it'll let me save just that cutout as an image. I don't have to go into my editing app and then, outline it and then, make sure everything is cut out perfect. No, this pretty much does it for me. So that's one of my new favorite features of the S Pen on the S23 Ultra, and the S22 Ultra cannot do that. Another cool feature is if you go into a message or even your notes and you tap on the, the part where you're supposed to write with your S Pen, it'll allow you to actually, instead of typing letters out, you can actually use your S Pen just to spell out the word, like say the cat went home or whatever. You can write it out. It'll put it on the screen as text for you, so you don't actually have to sit there texting. You can just write real quick, what you want to write out, and it'll type it out for you. So another really cool feature with the S Pen. But when it comes to all other features with both of these S Pens, you're still going to get, the same magnifying, the same translating, the same smart select, live messages, pen up, all those main features. Both still have Bluetooth capability, so you can be able to take big family photos, with the S Pen. Nobody has to get left out of those. You can still use it as a wand to switch up modes in the camera, or to even switch the cameras from the front to the rear. So both still come with those amazing S Pen features. The S23 Ultra just has a couple more new features. But maybe you're saying, well, you know what? I'm someone who doesn't really use the S Pen. I didn't really find myself using it on the S22 Ultra, maybe just a few times here and there. Is it really worth it to even, still upgrade to the S23 Ultra? Well, it's like I kind of just said, if you find yourself even using it just a few times, I mean, you used it right, it was there when you needed it. And in the way I see it is, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. I mean, it's always just great to have that S Pen there when you do need it, especially, like I said, when you're with your family and you want to take a good big family photo. And instead of having to put on a timer or have somebody left out of the photo, you can use that S Pen and just press the button and boom, you get a photo of the whole family. Nobody gets left out. And you don't have to worry about hurry up and trying to run before the timer runs out. So this S Pen definitely comes in handy. Now, I want to talk about one great thing when watching content on the S23 Ultra is the speakers. Not just, about how beautiful the display looks, because we already know Samsung's always bringing us these beautiful displays. And I will say this, that the display on the S23 Ultra is definitely brighter than the one on the S22 Ultra. It's just so much easier to use outside as well. And the screen on the S22 Ultra was already, pretty bright. But it just goes to the next level with brightness on the S23 Ultra. You can definitely notice a difference. I mean, the colors still pop, they're still nice and vibrant. I mean, the display is absolutely beautiful. But aside from that, when watching content or playing games, the speakers sound amazing on the S23 Ultra. And not that they didn't sound amazing on the S22 Ultra, they just get more louder. They have a bit of a more full sound, I would say, at least in my opinion. They have a nice full sound and they get nice and loud as well. So you don't always have to worry about using earbuds if you really don't want to. You don't have to pump up the volume to max if you don't want to. I mean, the speakers sound really good on this device. And another thing is, when looking at the display on both of these, is that you get a couple more widgets as well. And one new widget that I like on the S23 Ultra is the battery widget, because it gives me the battery percentage of not only my phone, but it'll also give me the percentage of my S Pen. It'll give me the battery percentage of my earbuds, and that is not available with the S22 Ultra. So just another cool widget there that we have with the S23 Ultra. Now, I want to talk about the cameras on both of these devices here. Honestly, if you're not really having both pictures taken with both of these devices side by side, you probably won't notice a huge difference. I mean, the quality that you get, from the cameras on the S22 Ultra, it's already really good when it comes to taking photos, and it's going to be the same thing with the S23 Ultra. You're still going to get some really good quality photos. Now, where one of the differences is that shutter speed. The shutter speed is noticeably faster than the shutter speed on the S22 Ultra. And what I'm talking about is, from the moment you press that button to take the picture, it takes it more instantly than it does on the S22 Ultra. There have been times where, I'm trying to take a photo of my youngest son. He's always running around playing, and I like to capture these moments. And there's times where I'm using my S22 Ultra to try and capture that when he's got a lot of movement going on, and sometimes it just comes out blurry. I just can't get that perfect shot. It's not like a Pixel device where it's just instant, and that is like the perfect device to be able to take those action photos. It pretty much gets it right all the time. But with the S22 Ultra, I just always had a hard, well, not always, but there was a lot of times where I had a hard time taking pictures of anything with movement. While with the S23 Ultra, it's definitely improved. It's still slightly there. There's still a little bit of shutter lag, but it's just not as bad as the S22 Ultra. It definitely has improved. It is faster, and I have been able to take better photos of my kids, especially my youngest one when he's running around. But when it comes to, other regular photos with the ultra-wide main telephoto lenses, I mean, you're gonna get great quality on both of these no matter which one you use. But yes, the cameras on the S23 Ultra have been improved and are a little bit better than the cameras on the S22 Ultra, especially when it comes to stabilization. They've definitely upped the stabilization game with the cameras on this device. Even when zoomed out to 100 times, stabilization is definitely a lot better with that as well. You can be able to take your beautiful pictures of your moons with one hand or anything. When you're using that 100 times zoom on the S23 Ultra, you can use one hand and it'll stay nice and stabilized. Now, when it comes to the front-facing cameras, yeah, the megapixel count on the S23 Ultra is a little bit lower this year, but honestly, you're still able to get some great selfie pics with the S23 Ultra. And honestly, you can get great selfie pics with both of these right here. So when I compare the two, honestly, it's almost about the same or even just a little bit better on the S23 Ultra. Now, the thing about the S23 Ultra here is that we now get that 200 megapixel camera, which is new this year, and the pictures come out amazing. I mean, you really get the detail in those photos. So after taking the photo, you can even crop in a lot on those photos if you really wanted to, and it still keeps a lot of detail in those photos. Sometimes when taking pictures with, your regular camera, 12 megapixel camera or whatever, sometimes when you take those photos and try to crop in, the more you crop in, it gets a little bit more blurry and you can't really tell what the picture is of. But with the 200 megapixel camera, you don't have to worry about that. You can crop into it and you can still see a lot of the detail in that photo. So you don't have to worry about blurry photos anymore if you do want to end up cropping in when using that 200 megapixel camera. And then there's also an option for a 50 megapixel as well, which still looks really good and still gets a lot of that detail. Now, another area where the cameras are better on this device compared to the S22 Ultra is when taking night photos, especially when it comes to astrophotography. You do got that, let me go into the camera options here. You do got that expert raw mode, which will allow you to be able to use that astrophotography mode. You can switch from a 12 megapixel camera to 50 megapixel camera. But at the 12 megapixels, if you click on the astrophotography, you can be able to set your own duration of how much light you want coming in, basically your exposure time. So you can set it all the way to 10 minutes, which will really bring in a lot of that light and really show you even more stars that are in the sky. And astrophotography has been really good here on the S23 Ultra. I mean, it's crazy. It's almost like magic when it comes to the cameras on this device. So overall, yes, camera is definitely better on the S23 Ultra compared to the S22 Ultra. All right, so just doing a quick video test here with the front-facing cameras at 4K 30 frames per second. Got the S22 Ultra here to my right, the S23 Ultra here to my left. I will be having a full 4K video comparison with both of these devices against each other, so make sure you subscribe so you can stay tuned for that video. But this is just to give you a quick idea of what video quality is like with the front-facing camera on both of these devices. This is with the sun behind me. Now this is with the sun directly shining at my face. Woo, a little bit bright there. But what do y'all think? Let me know down in the comments. I'll go ahead and do a quick pan around. What do you think? Check out stabilization by doing a nice little walk here. And this is both handheld. There are those front-facing cameras. Let's go ahead and check out the rear-facing cameras really quick. All right, so taking it over to the rear-facing cameras again at 4K 30, Galaxy S23 Ultra still to my left, S22 Ultra to my right. What do y'all think about stabilization? Also, let me know what you think about the mic quality as well. What sounds better to you? Let's go ahead and check out the zoom. So this is a 3x zoom on both. Here's 10x zoom on both. So those telephoto lens. And then we also have the ultra wide angle lens on both of these devices. What do you think looks better? Let's go back to the main lens. There we are, 4K, 30 frames per second. Which one do y'all think looks better? Let me know down in the comments. But overall, I mean, whether you have the Galaxy S22 Ultra or the Galaxy S23 Ultra, you're still gonna have a great experience with both. Like I said, yes, the Galaxy S23 Ultra is definitely the better device, but the Galaxy S22 Ultra was my overall best phone of last year, and it's still a great phone even this year. So if you don't want to upgrade, you're really not gonna miss out on a whole lot. But if you do want to upgrade and you can find a good deal, like I said, hey, go for it, do it. If you're like me, you want the latest and greatest, you do want the better performing device with the better cameras, that better battery life, the better speakers, then the brighter display, then hey, yeah, go for it. I know when I'm naming this stuff, it does sound like it's, it could be a lot, but honestly, like I said, take the S23 Ultra out of the picture, just talk about the S22 Ultra. Still a great, amazing performing device, still great cameras, still a beautiful display, still a good performing battery, just an overall great performing phone. But then, yeah, you're bringing the S23 Ultra into the picture here, then yeah, you do have the better device. So like I said, if you don't have the money to do it, or you really don't care about it, about upgrading, then hey, you're still gonna be good with your S22 Ultra. Or if you don't have either of these phones, and you're trying to figure out which one you should get, maybe you see an S22 Ultra at an even better deal than the S23 Ultra, and the S22 Ultra kind of falls more in your budget, then hey, go for it. Trust me, you're not gonna be disappointed. But if you do have the budget for it, if you don't have either of these devices, maybe you have an S20 or an S21 or even an S10 or maybe another device, then hey, go for it. The S23 Ultra will not disappoint you. This has been an amazing device. But there you have it. I know I'm kind of back and forth on whether you should upgrade or not. I mean, I gave you different reasons on why you shouldn't and why you should. Hey, I thought it was worth an upgrade. This is an amazing device. But y'all let me know what you think down in the comment sections below. Do you have the S22 Ultra? Did you upgrade? Did you not upgrade? Or did you upgrade to the S23 Ultra from another device? How's it treating you? Let me know down in the comment sections below. Like I said, I will have links for the new S23 Ultra down in the description. And I will also have links from the sponsors of this video, Subcase, in case you want to check out a case for your device to make sure you keep it nice and protected. Thanks for watching. If you did like this video, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any other future videos to come. Thanks so much for watching. This is Josh Quinones. I will see you on the next one. Peace out.